In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the X marks the spot square. It's a really easy repeating concept where we just create those chain spaces on the corners and you get a X marks the spot effect at the end. For this project, you can use any size hook, any size yarn that you want. I am going to be using a 5.5mm crochet hook as well as Lion Brand Mandala Ombre. And this one is all sorts of shades of purple. I believe this colorway is called Chai. But again, you can use any size yarn weight that you have and any size crochet hook as well. These are really versatile. Anytime you make a square, they're perfect for bags, blankets, any sort of modular project where you want to put a whole bunch of squares together to create an even bigger and better project. So enough talking, let's jump right in. You want to start with a magic ring. And we're going to chain 6 to start. We're going to work 3 double crochets into that ring. And that chain 6 counts as a double crochet and your chain 2 for a corner. So now we're going to chain 2, work 3 double crochets into that center ring, chain 2. And you can always tell that is that beginning chain is going to be the last double crochet of our sets here. So we've got one set of 3, 2 sets. I'm going to pull my tail a little bit and close that ring. I've got 2 sets. I'm going to work 3 more double crochets into that ring. Chain 2. So now I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th. Because I already have this one done from my beginning chain 6, I just need to work 2 double crochets into that ring. And I'm going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain from the bottom from our beginning chain 6 to join that round, and that will then create that 3 double crochet cluster that you need for your beginning round. I'm going to close up my ring, and that is round 1. For round 2, we want to slip stitch into that chain space, and we're going to start every round this way. You always want to get into that space and chain 6. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that space. And now we want to work a double crochet over the top of these 3 double crochets. So in the next 3 stitches, we're going to work a double crochet. And now work 2 double crochets into that chain space. So I wanted to point out that down here we have 3 stitches, those 3 double crochets, before we get to our corners. Each row you're going to add 4 to each side, because you're going to work 2 double crochets into that chain space, plus a double crochet over top of those stitches from the previous row, and then 2 more on the end in that other chain space. So down here we had 3, and now we have 7 because we've added 2 double crochets on each side. After you've worked your 2 double crochets in the chain space, we're going to chain 4 for the corner space. Right back into that chain space, we're going to chain 2. So here we're working the other side now. There's our 2 double crochets on this side. After you work that chain 4, you turn the corner. There's our 2 double crochets in that chain space. We now have 3 stitches before we get to the next corner space. So I've got 1, 2, I'm going to work 3, a double crochet in the next 3, which will give me 5 total. So I have 5 total stitches now, and 2 in that space, which will give me 7. So as you're increasing each row around, you will be adding 4 stitches to each side. So on the next round, I won't have 7 anymore. I'll have 11 total, because I've got to add those 2 in that corner and then in this corner over here. So at the corners, we chain 4 for our space. Find that same chain space and work 2 double crochets. So now we're on our next side. So those are the first 2 stitches of our next side. I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 3. I've got 5 total stitches so far. I need 2 more, which are my 2 double crochets in that chain corner space. And now I have 7 on this side. I'm on my last corner. Here's where we started. So I need to chain 4, work 2 double crochets right back into that same chain space. On the last side, that counts as a stitch. So I have 2 so far. I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's 6. You want to find that stitch right in between where you started your chain on the round and the last stitch that you did, and just work a double crochet into it. That gives me my 7 on this side. Find the top of your chain, so the 3rd stitch, 3rd chain from the bottom, and slip stitch to join. And that is round 2. For row 3, we are going to immediately slip stitch into that corner space, chain 6. Every round starts with slip stitching into that corner space and chaining 6. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that corner space. A double crochet into each stitch from that previous round. So I've got 7 stitches before I get to my next corner. Remember, we're adding 4 stitches on each side for this round. So instead of 7 total, I'm going to have 11 total. I've got my 2 in the corner space, plus 7 on this side in between, and 2 more in this corner space, which will give me 11. So when you're working your rounds and you're unsure if you have worked the correct number of stitches for each side, just remember how many need to be on each side before you get to the corner. So for this first round, we just worked 3, and that was working in our center ring. Round 2 was 7 total, so 7 here, 7 here, 7 here, 7 here. Row 3 is going to be 11, row 4 is going to be 15, and row 5 is going to be 19. So you're just adding 4 stitches to each side on each round. So I'm going to work my double crochet into the next 7 stitches. So here's my 2 end double crochets in that corner space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And 2 more on the end in that corner space. And now I have my 11 total in between my chain corners. Each corner gets a chain 4. And we're going to work this side now. 2 double crochets right back into that corner space, a double crochet in the next 7 stitches, and 2 double crochets into that corner. So I should have 11 total stitches now from corner to corner. At the corner we are chaining 4 into that corner space, starting the next side, 2 double crochets, a double crochet in the next 7, and 2 double crochets into that space. Chain 4. Now we're on our last side. 2 double crochets into that corner space, that same one. And we want to remember that this chain from our chain 6 to start counts as a double crochet and our corner chain space. So I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 7. So I've got my 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 1 more right into that stitch in between your chain and the last double crochet you worked. Slip stitch to the 3rd chain from the bottom of your chain 6 to join the round, and that is round number 3. Round 4. We will now have 15 stitches in between our corner spaces. We always start by slip stitching into that ring or that chain space and chaining 6. We're going to work this side, so we need 2 double crochets into that chain space, a double crochet in the next 11, two double crochets in the next chain space corner, chain 4, 2 double crochets in this space, a double crochet in the next 11, two double crochets into this corner space, chain 4, two double crochets into this same space, a double crochet in the next 11, and two double crochets into that corner space, chain 4, we're on our last side. We're going to work two double crochets in that same chain space corner, a double crochet in the next 11, and remember this counts as one of your double crochets in that ring or in that chain space. So I'm going to work a double crochet in the next 11, so I've got 11 plus the 2 on the corner, so that's 13, plus this one's 14, so I need one more right into that base stitch here in between my last double crochet and that chain. So just work a double crochet and slip stitch to the top of your turning chain, so the third chain from your chain 6, and that is round 4. Alright, let's work round 5 together, and then you will get the concept of how you increase if you wanted to make your square much bigger, or you can also make the square smaller by only working 2 rounds or 3 rounds. So we start each round by slip stitching into that space, chain 6, work 2 double crochets right back into that space, you're going to work a double crochet into each of these stitches or the next 15. After you've worked those 15, we're going to work 2 into that chain space corner, chain 4, we're working on this next side now, 2 double crochets right back into that chain space, a double crochet in the next 15, two double crochets in that chain space, chain 4, we're working the next side now, 2 double crochets right back into that space, a double crochet in the next 15, two double crochets into that space, and that gives us 19 now on each side, chain 4, 2 double crochets into that same chain space, and a double crochet in the next 15, and then we'll join at the end. And 15. So I've got my 15 stitches sitting on top of that previous row, plus 2, which is 17 for those 2 on the corner, plus 1 here, 18. I need that last one in that base stitch. And now I have 19 slip stitch the 3rd chain from the bottom, and that finishes round 5. So if you wanted to work a round 6, you would have 23 total stitches on each side. So you'd work the 2 double crochets in that corner space, a double crochet in the next 19, and then 2 in that opposite side corner space. So once you get that repeating down, it becomes really easy to just keep going and make these squares as large as you'd like. Once you finish, you can block out your squares and they will lie much flatter and squarer than mine here. I have not blocked mine yet. I hope you enjoyed this X marks the spot crochet square tutorial. Until next time, everyone, thanks for watching. Happy crocheting. Bye!